Okay, this is the album cover that Elektra decided was going to make the MC5. The band hated it. Everybody in the band complained about the picture they had on here. Dennis Thompson's got his drumstick up his nose. Wayne's got a microphone in front of his face. Fred's hair is all over his face. Rob's picture was pretty good. But all of the other shots were either the photo montage, just the band hated it. There was things where it kept saying Michael Davis is always in the background, or always hidden. He's in there, right there. You can see his guitar. And then, I believe this guy's name is Bruce Botnick, and he was the art director. And when the band saw that he had put himself in here, and you got all this dazzle, these shiny outfits, guitars, American flags, and up here in the corner, on the front cover, is some guy in a blue shirt and a tie with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, looking like he just farted. I mean, they absolutely, when they saw that, they absolutely hated it. The other thing that the record company did was they were afraid that all these kids were going to want money. And here was, and the kids were very important to the MC5. The kids supported the band so incredibly that they took and airbrushed everybody's face so you couldn't recognize anyone. And they were pissed about that. But for the album cover, as you'll probably see when you look at the CD that was released by Elektra later.
Well, we happen to have that. Bob, could you bring that over here for us? No, just straight up top. Just the top.
Yeah, we'll just do it like this. Now this is the original cover done by Gary Grimshaw. This was going to be, and this was what the band wanted on the front of the album. And Elektra really didn't like the marijuana leaf on the front and the supposed dope smoke floating across. They were the idea of the dope in front of the American flag. They were totally against it, and of course it got nixed as the album cover. And when the band, when this was all printed already, this MC5, this was the art department at Elektra. This was their idea of the way the MC5 should be portrayed. They hated that also.
So that was their own concept then?
This was all Elektra Records concept.
They didn't really consult with the five themselves as far as what they wanted.
Well, flip that rascal over.
One of the things was that this guitar here, which is a Gretsch, Wayne borrowed that guitar for the first night from Massimino Music in Ann Arbor. And it was incredibly loud, but he didn't like the tone. So the next night he used a Fender Stratocaster. And that was the guitar that I painted, the American flag guitar. And of course, nowhere on here is the American flag guitar. And that guitar was famous. It was, in fact, we painted other guitars that could be broken to look like the American flag guitar. And there was all, when guitars were broken, they were always either old guitars that we made look like the other ones when, you know, he broke a couple of real guitars, and the band wasn't rich enough to be able to break up real guitars, you know, after the first couple of times that we did it. So it was always, have we got an extra bass in back? Let's put on, you know, if it was a big show, they really got deep into it. And the fact that the American flag guitar was not on the cover was another thing that they were really annoyed with. They were very disappointed in the cover.
Flip it over, let's get a look at the boys.
Now, this of course, the infamous White Panther buttons.
Naked picture.
Which of course were taped to their skin, although everybody said they were pinned to their skin.
Well, there would be the telltale blood stains.
I shouldn't say I designed, but I put together the White Panther party buttons. All I did was reverse a Black Panther party panther, run it in reverse, and told them to print it white on purple. I believe we decided on that color. There was a big flap about that too. When the political end of the Trans-Love Energies and the musical part of the band, the situation was beginning to fall apart. And one of the last straws was that money was short, there was no food in the house, and there was 5,000 White Panther buttons downstairs that had been paid for, sitting in a box. So here was money that the band had earned, paying for something very political, and the band didn't necessarily back, but money that they had earned was going to pay for these buttons. And then there was no money to buy food, so that the band came home from a job and there was no food in the house. So that was not the major factor, but one of the things that finally the band decided to move to Hamburg and kind of break away from the political yeah, just the politics of Trans-Love Energies. And of course, this one doesn't have the writing on it.
Censored version.
Yeah, which was quite a nice piece that John did, and it used the word motherfucker in it a few times. And
well, they eat together, sleep together, they walk down the street together. Because this band is so together. I always believed it.
Of course, they altered kick out the jams, motherfucker, to kick out the jams, brothers and sisters, which it wasn't like Brothers and Sisters didn't have its merits, and in fact the band agreed that you couldn't put that song out as a single. There was no way it was ever going to get played. So they were not unhappy with the fact that as a single it came out with Brothers and Sisters. But the fact that Elektra went to taking the liner notes off of the album and taking Motherfucker off of the record started the relationship between the MC5 and Elektra Records off to a bad, yeah. And they were eventually let go as a Elektra artist and signed with Atlantic after that. But for as much as Elektra preached how they were going to, you know, this was this incredible band that spoke to the young generation, and that rock and roll was this powerful political element, they really were just in it for the money, and eventually they showed their own hand. It was fun, but it sure woke a lot of us up to a lot of things that I suppose we should have known. And later on found out the hard way. And of course,